Good morning, world. Welcome to another Vlogmas. You checking the crack on the floor?
Yeah, from the earthquake.
Well, it's not from the earthquake. That was from before the earthquake.
Yeah.
Think it's got any bigger?
Maybe these bits here. Maybe those got cracked from there.
You can normally tell when ants start coming through. Any ants?
No.
No. Good. You've probably heard the news that there was a earthquake of 7.7 magnitude here in the Philippines, and we live in Mindanao. We're a British family that moved here about 3.5 years ago, and we live on an island called Siargao, a little bit further north from the epicenter. But the aftershocks from that earthquake have not stopped for a whole 2.5 days. If you look at our earthquake app that we've been tracking, you can see that there was no seismic activity going on at all really in the Mindanao region before the 7.7 hit 2 nights ago. And then since then, we've had constant shocks that have been over 5 magnitude, literally every hour. You can see when you scroll through how many shocks have been happening in the Mindanao area since that time. It's quite unnerving, to be honest, because we've experienced earthquakes before, but we haven't experienced one for a very long time. So to feel this constant shaking and worry that it's going to get worse and worse, and to see on these apps that track seismic activity that it just doesn't seem to be going away, it's a little bit scary actually. Yesterday morning, we both woke up with a shock because there was another 7 magnitude earthquake, which again, we weren't on the epicenter of, but we felt the effects of it. It woke all of us up in the house about 4 o'clock in the morning. I mean, as you can imagine, probably one of the most stressful parts of experiencing something like that is living so close to the ocean. There were tsunami warnings. We actually had this big warning from the government which said one was coming, like waves will be hitting between this and this time, and that really freaked us out. I mean, like, look how close we are to the sea here. I mean, we are slightly higher up on this coastline, but still, if there were any major waves, we would have to be concerned about it, because right here, looking out that way, there is nothing to stop a wave coming in this way. It's like literally out to the Pacific Ocean, all the way to like Guam, Fiji, South America. It's just like, that is nothingness out there. So if something was to come from this side, that would be my major concern now. If you've been watching our vlogs for some time, you'll know that we went through Typhoon Odette, where we felt the full force of a super typhoon. During that time, the waves actually managed to come all the way up here during the morning of that day. And I feel like maybe we were a little bit unprepared for that kind of severity at the time. So now we know how high the waves can come during a super typhoon. We do feel like if there was some kind of tsunami wave, it would probably take quite a bit for it to rise this high up the wall, but still there's a possibility that we could be in danger here. Just want to take a moment to thank our video sponsor, Surfshark VPN. We've been talking a lot about safety and the future. I know normally I make a joke about our Surfshark ads. I do poppy things, we do shots that make light of the whole internet security thing. But moving forward into the digital world, our kids are going to be using computers and the internet as part of all of their daily life. And we use Surfshark VPN to make sure that we are safe when we are browsing the internet, when we are online, when we are doing our banking, when we are just doing anything on the internet. We can't avoid that the future will be going more and more digital. Is something that we have to accept as our part of life. We do so much on the computer, on our phones these days, and most of us never really think about who can snoop on your data, who can track your keystrokes, how many companies are using your data without your permission, and that's where using a VPN like Surfshark really kicks in. And even if we as adults or the older generation decides that we don't want to be part of this digital world, we can't avoid that our kids are going to be in it. So we need to prepare ourselves for that and just understand how it is to be online, what it means to actually put yourself out there without any protection these days, and moving forward into the future. Being able to mask your IP address, which is basically how your computer connects to the outside world, just safeguards you from anybody taking something from you that you didn't want them to see. It's super easy to use. You just tap a few buttons and you can share it across all of your devices in the family. So one account for the whole family is how we use it here. We've been using it for years, and that's why we have a great relationship with Surfshark. We trust them, and if you guys are looking for a VPN, we know it works really well. As usual, because we've been long-term partners with them as well, they offer us exclusive discounts, so check out the discount code below to get the latest offer from Surfshark. And I just want to say a big thank you to any of you guys who've actually gone on and just even looked at the Surfshark website. When you click on the link from our videos, it supports our channel, because then they know that people are coming from our recommendations, and it helps our partnership and it helps us to make more videos too for you guys. Hello, sweetie. You're the new dog, aren't you? It's okay, come to me. Come get a stroke. We need to get to know each other, don't we? What's that, rice on your head? Oh, you got rice on your head. Oh, this is Moon. Hello, Moon. You sweet dog. Let's get that rice off your head. Let's get that rice off your head. Pop. There you go. So I'm down at the shoreline now. It's pretty much low tide at the moment. You can see here that we have a bit of a reef, and then there's a drop off there. So all of the waves generate about here. It's not so severe at the moment. So if we had a big wave, it would have to come along here. It'd have to rise up about that high to get to where our house is, right there. But when the typhoon was here, the water was where that grass line was. It was actually hitting that wall. So the waves were this high before. That is crazy. I did read that the biggest tsunami that the Philippines has ever experienced was 9 meters high and killed like 4,000 people. But since then, and before that, there hasn't really been anything that big, and very little casualties in the Philippines from tsunamis. So let's hope that that continues to be the case. But one thing that is really playing on our mind these days is that with the effects of climate change, nowhere in the world is totally safe from things going wrong. Weather patterns across the world are changing massively. So I know some people can say, oh, you've chosen to live in a disaster-prone area, you have to expect this will happen. And yes, that is true. But one thing I will say is, at least the people of the Philippines have gone through so many disasters already. They know what to expect, what to experience. If we were to have a major climate disaster somewhere like the UK, where I'm from, I don't think I know anybody from my previous life that would be prepared for how to deal with those consequences. You know, deep freezes, we're getting a lot of snow appearing in England right now. That is much more extreme than what it used to be. We never used to get so much snow in the UK, but we've been getting reports from our family that things have gone way sooner. It's just changing patterns. And if you live in this kind of protected bubble where you don't actually have to deal with any of your own problems, then stuff like this can really affect you hard. You may have noticed in recent vlogs of ours that we tend to just kind of walk past the plastic now without even bothering to pick it up, because this is a never-ending battle. And I know it's difficult to explain how it feels to be constantly faced by this, but we could go and clean this up every single day, and the next day it's all back, and that really is depressing. There's just plastic everywhere, and I know you could say, oh, how does plastic and trash and whatever affect actual weather? But that's when you start looking into the science, and it is just so scary. Humans really are the most dangerous thing that ever happened to the earth. I know I might be sounding a bit eco-warrior right now, but honestly, I'm just a guy that lives by the beach, and it really does affect you when you see this stuff every single day, and you know that there's very little you can do about it as one person, but as a collective, we could do a whole lot. And also, I feel like it's time for big corporations and also governments to step up and just go, all right, we need to make like a nationwide change on how we produce these plastics, how we produce all these materials that get sold to so many people, so that rather than everybody having to make millions of little changes, you can make a big impact in one go. But what do I know? One noticeable difference is that a lot of the trash that we would see would have China branding on it before. So I'm guessing because there's a shipping line that goes across here. And now we're getting a lot of Japanese trash appearing on our beach too. Bottles and products that have katakana and kanji symbols on them. They're very recognizable as a different type of trash that's now appearing on the Philippine shores. So what we're doing to the world out there at sea is beyond me. And unfortunately, it's one of those things that, like, what you don't see doesn't hurt you. So most of the time we just kind of have to choose to ignore it because you can't function that way. You can do your small bits, but then you get that feeling of not being able to make a bigger impact, a drop in the ocean. But then if the day comes when a huge tsunami is coming towards us because of our actions or inactions, only then are we going to be really, really aware of what impact we're making today. I feel like the biggest impact I can make is to teach my daughter the effect of what we do here on the planet, so that she can see that the choices she's going to make and her generation is going to make will make a big impact to her entire life. And already, like, by being vegan and talking about climate change and the things that were in the past that are completely different now, is already making an impact in her mindset, and she understands how we as humans are the leading cause of any kind of big change on this planet. Hello, Surigao. You growing a new tail? You're growing a green tail? Sweetie, you're getting old now, aren't you? One other thing I just remembered when I was checking the earthquake app is that we've had over 100 earthquakes since the 7.7 magnitude hit 2 days ago in this area alone. Over 100, let that sink in.
This one, loads of presents. Is this one? Ooh, there's 4. It seems like I get more candy kittens a day. Hang on, let's see, which one did I get? I got Shock's apple and Shock's strawberry.
Nice.
Hang on, I got 2 flavours.
Nice.
I got the film for me.
And what does Poppy get today?
An advent calendar. Let's see. Inside this one. No, not the whole box, remember? Hang on. I think this is the same as yesterday.
Not chicken again. You have to check the colour. There's a slight colour difference on them, isn't there?
Yeah. And Poppy got chicken.
Chicken again. Poppy doesn't seem to mind.
No, she just loves them. Look. Poppy.
Well, they are training treats.
Sit. Paw. Down.
Good girl. Well done.
Little ribcage.
Put that down nicely next to the Christmas tree. It's amazing how Poppy can be in the house on her own. She knows that's there and she doesn't destroy the packet and try and get them out by herself. You're a very good dog, aren't you, Poppy? Oh, she's not interested in the treats today.
She did. She ate it.
Oh, already? Oh, you wanted to bring them back here to the sofa, did you? I see.
I put them inside Poppy's bowl when she didn't want it. So she didn't want her breakfast. So classic Poppy just went on the sofa with her treat.
Yeah, she's like, treats are for the sofa, food is for the bowl. That's her plan.
Poppy, you're meant to have mix.
And today's shout out goes to Violinistic. Thank you, Violinistic. It's hard to say that. Here's a paw for you. Hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for becoming a video member. Hit the join button if you also want to become a video member. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye!